Okay, the troops are gathering. Vav, Amar Aleph. We're dealing with the various tzaddikim in Tanakh that they did sin, they didn't sin, right? So the next piece of Gemara says, Amar Shmuel bar Nachmani Amar Rav Yonasan, Kol ha'omer b'nei Shmuel chatu eino ela toeh. Whoever says that the sons of Shmuel sinned, they're making a mistake. Shenem, Vayiki Zoken Shmuel, it talks about in the end of Shmuel Aleph, not in the end of Shmuel Aleph, it's like in the middle of Shmuel Aleph, that Shmuel was getting old. Shmuel is the last shofet in the list of shoftim. He serves after Eli as a shofet in a sense, and it's he that's going to inaugurate the Malchus with Shaul, and then eventually he'll also anoint David. So when Shmuel is old, Uvanav lahalchu b'drachos, it says his children, his sons, did not follow in his path. And the Gemara is medayik, b'drachavu d'lo yhalchu, but michtin nami lo ychotu. They were not, they didn't follow in Shmuel's derech, but not to say that but they didn't sin. That's the raya that the Gemara is using, that the Bnei Shmuel really didn't sin. Elamani Makayim vayitu achrei abotza. One of the faults of the Bnei Shmuel, it says, they lusted after money. Shelo asu kamase aviyah. They didn't act like their father. Shmuel would travel. He was the traveling judge. He didn't let the people come to him. He went to the people. Shnei v'halach midei shana b'shana. He was like the judge who traveled on a circuit judge. Halach midei shana b'shana, the sov of Beit El. He would go to Beit El, the HaGilgal, the HaMitzpah. These are different places in Eretz Canaan. The Shofat at Yisrael, the Heim Lo Asuke. They didn't do that. Ela Yoshvu Bareya. They stayed in their city. And they had a lot of shamases, and they had a lot of soifrim that had to, they had to be the scribes that to write the staros, and the shamases that you had to tip to get in, whatever. Like today, people have gaboy, and therefore they got wealthy. So that's the concept that they went after botza. So the Gemara says this issue of what they actually did is kitanois, machlokes tanoi. It says vayitu achrei botza. Rabbi Omer chelkom shoalu b'fihem. They would ask for their Levi, for the Meiser that is due, because remember, Shmuel was a Levi. So they would get Meiser, but they would ask for it. You're not supposed to ask for you're supposed to, every Yisrael gets to choose who to give it to. They would specifically ask for it. Since they were doing the Shoiftim, people would not prevent giving it to them. And therefore, the other Leviim got cuffed out. So it's not like that they did anything wrong in terms of the mishpah. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Malai Tilo al Balei Bati. They made the Balabatim provide for their living. It means they sort of demanded a salary. Rabbi Kiva Omer, Kupi Yisr Shel Meiser Notlu Bizroa. Not only did they ask for it, but they got more Meiser than they were supposed to get. They did it through intimidation. That's Zroa. Rabbi Yossi Omer Matnois Notlu Bizroa. That the various Matnois, that were the various Matonis given to the Levium, they took, not the Meiser that they took, but the Matonis. The Zroa, the Lachayayim, and the Keva. And in fact, they weren't even entitled to. You're supposed to give that to Kohanim. So that's what the Gemara means. They took it even though they were not worthy of it. Others say it was matnos levia, like meiser. Okay. Amar Shmuel ben Achmeni, Amar Rabbi Yonis. And this is the biggie. Koloimer David chata eino elutoa. Whoever says that David HaMelech sinned with Ma'aseh Bat Sheva, he's making a mistake. Shenema. Vayi David l'chol drachav maskil v'Hashem imo. It's also a pasuk in Shmuel Aleph that Hashem was with David. Efshar chet ba liyado shchina imo. Could he have committed a chet with Bathsheba and the Shechina stay with him? Cannot be. So it must be he really didn't sin. Elamani Makayem. Later on, he gets Toichacha from Nasan Hanavi, comes to him, and says, Madua Bazita Idvar Hashem Lasot Hara, where the pasuk says, Be'inavet Uryachiti Hikita Bacharev, that you caused Uriah Chiti, who was the husband of Bathsheba, to be killed by the sword. That Ishto Lakatul Chali Isha, and his wife you took, Votar Rakta Bachar of Ne'amo. So what does that mean if he didn't sin? Says the Gemara, Shabikesh Lasos below Asa. He wanted to sin, but he didn't sin Lamaisa. He had Kavana to sin. Says Rashi, Lishka v'makodim shekibla get. Before she had received the get in her hand, what kind of get? Shahaya bala sholech lamina milchama. The officers, the soldiers in David HaMelech's army would give their wives a get. Now, it's a machlokes whether it was a conditional get, meaning they gave them the get before they left, or let's say they would send it to them from the battlefield on the condition that if they don't return, the divorce takes retroactively from the time they were given the get. What does that accomplish? They don't fall yibum, and they don't remain agunos. So they would say, if I don't return within 12 months, the get's enforceable. And David, so once she had actually received the get, and then eventually Uriah dies. So retroactively, the get had already started. So certainly there was no Eisha Sish anymore when he lived with her. Because Lamaisa, it was a get. Because it's a retroactive get. But here in the Havamina of the Gemara is, he wanted to do it even before she had received the get, which is improper. But he actually didn't carry out the Maisa of living with her. Now there's an interesting Tosfos who argues with this Rashi. Perish Rashi al Tnai. You see the Tosfos? Get krisus kosav liishto. Perish Rashi al Tnai. Shem yamas b'milchama tema gureshes me'achshav. V'tzarech lo milefeirusho the afagav du uriya babin amilchama Tnai yashim lo yoshu b'sav milchama. At the end, he didn't come back. She had get. Ach kashe mahi ba'osra yomim. Rabbi Yehuda Oimer Rehi Keisha Sish L'Chol Dvarah. So what was she in the interim? So there's a machlokes. Some hold she was not an Eisha Sish because since he never did come back from the Milchama, Lamaisa, she was not an Eisha Sish retroactively. But according to Rabbi Yehuda, she was an Eisha Sish. Im came Freik Toisvis, Rabbi Yehuda I say Eisha Sish Gemura. So she was Mamas an Eisha Sish when he lived with her. The near Rabbeinu Tam, Shahaya Megarsha Lagamri, below Shum Tnai. So this is a famous machlokas, Rabbeinu Tam and Rashi. According to Rabbeinu Tam, when the men would go out to battle, they would give their wives a full divorce. They would just do it secretly, quietly, so nobody knew. So nobody would jump and try to marry their wives. And then when they would come back, they would remarry them, mamish. But mamish, when they gave the get, they were divorced.
What if they were a Kohen? What if they were a Kohen? If they were a Kohen, they couldn't. What?
They couldn't do that. They couldn't do that if they were a Kohen, or they couldn't do it and remarry her.
Right.
They could do it, but then the divorce would be permanent.
Right. Okay. Just in case.
Well, for them it's not just in case. It wouldn't make sense for Cohen to do it. It wouldn't, because he would not be able to remarry her, because a Cohen cannot marry a Grusha.
But Tosfos says, if you look in Tosfos, he says that they gave it basically. It wasn't.
Even a Cohen could do it because it's a get al tanai.
No. I'm talking about according to this. I'm talking about according to the second lashon. I'm talking about according to Rabbi Yehuda, where we asked the question. According to Rabbi Yehuda, she's a Neishes Ish. Then David lived with a Neishes Ish. So the way Rabbi Yehuda learns is that when the way Rabbi Tam learns, is that when these soldiers would give their wives a get, it was a mamish a get. It was no get al t'nai. So that she's a divorced woman. So when David lived with her, she was not Neishes Ish. And a Chanami, a Kohen.
But they would give a get.
A Kohen could give a get al t'nai, and then if he comes back, there was never a get. So he's married his wife.
And they gave a get also if they were captured. If they got captured, they gave a get also. So then
meaning it wasn't the get wasn't issued based on exactly what happened to them. The get was issued with a time frame. If I don't return within 12 months, there's a get. And that covers Velvel if they were in prison, or if they had died, or they're missing. You understand? So it would be based on time, and that would cover all the bases.
Okay, so that would cover Cohen too.
No, in Hanami, a Cohen who gave such a get and then comes back, the get was never given. Basically, there's no get. So he continues to live with his wife. He never divorced her.
Harold, you don't have a problem, Harold.
Thank you, Walter.
Unless there's a concept of reach haget, and sometimes we're very machmir by Kohanim. I'd have to look in the Rishonim a little bit about the concept of reach haget. Anyway, let's go back to the Gemara. This is a machlokas Rashi and Tosfos is a very known one regarding this issue of David and Bathsheba. So back to the Gemara. Shebikesh lasos v'lo asay. Now, on David HaMelech's level, even his desire, even though he didn't carry out the desire, that was considered a chet on his level. Amar Rab. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi Asimi David. Remember, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was a descendant of David HaMelech. Mahapech v'dorsh b'schusa de David. He darshan the pasuk for his grandfather's benefit. Madua Pazi says for Hashem laso sarah. Rabbi Yomi Meshuna Ra Zomi Kol Rosh Torah. When it says Ra here, it actually doesn't mean evil, like it does everywhere else. Shekol Rosh Torah ksivu vayas. The kan ksiv vayas hara, because it says usually everywhere else it says, and this king vayas hara b'nei Hashem. They actually did Ra. Here it says laso sarah. He had in mind to do Ra, but he really didn't do Ra. He didn't actually act on it. Shebikesh lasos v'lo asa. Then it says, Es Uriachiti kisa b'charev, in Nosna Navi's Tochacha to David, he says, you killed Uriah. And remember, he didn't actually kill him. He left him in the battlefield in the front lines and he got killed there. In fact, what the Gemara Darshans is, you should have killed him. He was a Moired b'Malchus. We'll see in a minute how he was a Moired b'Malchus. But the din is, a Moired b'Malchus is done by Sanhedrin Lamisa. So technically, this is a simon here that he really deserved Misa Sanhedrin for being a Moired b'Malchus. What's the pshat? Likuchen yesh l'cha bo. Ein a chanami. Kicha mizdei Ephraim. Where do we learn kiddushin from? There's a hekesh between kicha ish and when Avram Avinu kicha mizdei Ephraim. That there was kicha here. There was likuchen. there was kiddushin, meaning if she mamas was an Eishes Ish, if you give an Eishes Ish kiddushin, is that worth anything? No. There's no kiddushin. You can't be makadesh an erva. So therefore, the fact that the pasuk testifies that the lokachta l'chala isha, you had likuchin with her. She was not an Eishes Ish, and you could acquire her through standard kiddush. Whoever went out, Rashi says al tnai. She im yamus tei mugureshes me'achsha. Upanim shu taru did say so. V'sholchom nam milchama. Sometimes they were busy before they went, and they would send the get from the battlefield, and that's what happened here with Uriah. And where do we see proof to this? From an earlier war, when Shaul HaMelech was conducting a war against the Plishtim, when eventually David HaMelech is going to kill Goliath. So David's brothers were already in the army of Shaul. And Yishai, David's father, sent David to the brothers. The Asaseret Charitzei HaChalav, these rounds of cheese. Tavi L'Sara Elef, go bring to the officers of the 1,000. V'sachecha tivkod l'shalom, and go check up on your brothers. And then it says, V'es aruba som tikach, take their aruba. What's this? My aruba som tani Rav Yosef dvorim amuravim beino lebeino. David HaMelech brought the gets that the brothers gave, or going to give their wives, because you see that they did this even the time of Shaul HaMelech. Uriah got killed by the Ammonites. So just like those people who were killed, David HaMelech was being told, just like when you kill the Bnei Ammon, you're not punished for that. You don't get punished for the fact that you allowed Uriah to get killed. My time, he was a rebeller against kingship. Where do we see this? Domerlei, va'adoni Yoav, ve'avdei Adoni, al pnei hasadeh chonim. When Uriah came back temporarily from the battle and had an audience with David HaMelech, he in front of David HaMelech, he said, Adoni Yoav, my master Yoav. Well, you don't call somebody else master in the presence of David. That's a siman that like you're rejecting the malchus of David. Amara, kimant be David la mishkachos be bar midu Uriah. If you evaluate David HaMelech's life throughout the psukim, you will find that the only reference to is this thing by Uriah, that he caused him to die, and not by Basheva. Basheva ilochata. That's what Rav implies. Deceive, because it says later on in Malachim Aleph, it's a pasuk that says Rak bidvar Uriah Chiti, that the only michshol that David HaMelech got involved in is the death of Uriah Chiti. Abai kshisharami Rav Adarab. Yet Abaya showed a stira in Rav. I'm a Rav Achiv. I'm a Rav Kibel David Lashon Hara. Rav has stated that there's another episode where David HaMelech seemingly accepted Lashon Hara. You know that the Lashon Hara is not just speaking Lashon Hara, but if you listen to Lashon Hara, you're also liable. So how could you say how could Rav say that the only place that he sinned was by Uriah? You see, he sinned by this Lashon Hara according to Rav. Kasha. So it's a steer in Rav. Well, let's go into that a little bit more in detail. Gufa. Rav Amar Kibel David Lashon Hara. David accepted Lashon Hara D'chsiv. Vayomer Lo HaMelech. So after the death of Shaul, David HaMelech wanted to take care of the sons of Yehonatan, his best friend. And Yonatan was also killed with Shaul. So David felt a responsibility to take, so he was looking for the children of Yonatan. So there was one of the avodim of Yonatan was Tziva. Mephibosheth, who was the son of Yonatan, he told David that he's at Machir ben Moel, and he used the word below David, which seems to imply that means he wanted to tell him he doesn't know how to learn below David. He doesn't know how to learn Torah. Uksi. No. David HaMelech sent for Mephibosheth. Turns out Mephibosheth was a big Talmid Chacham. So Michte Chazi de Shakruhu. So he saw very clearly that Siva was a liar. And later on, he's going to tell more Lashon Hara. So Kiyodar al Shin Eloy, my time at Kiblamine. Why did David accept that Lashon Hara later on? What's the Lashon Hara later on? Let's see. Vayom. Now this is later on, many years later, when Abshalom, David's son, rebels against David. So Vayom HaMelech El Siva Ayeh ben Adonecha. He asked Siva, where is Mephibosheth? Vayom Siva LaMelech Hiner Yoshev Yushalayim. He's in Jerusalem. Means most of the allies of David went with David when he started running away from Absalom. So David wanted to know where Mephibosheth is. So Tziva told him he's in Yerushalayim. And we'll see that was going to be a Lashon Hara. And the rest of the pasuk says, Kiyomer Hayom Yashivili Es Mamlecha Savi. Tziva claimed that Mephibosheth stayed in Jerusalem because now that there's a battle between David and Avshalom, the people will want me to be the king. They'll want the heir of Shaul to sort of be the mediator and step in. This is what Tziva said. And it sounds like David accepted it. How do we know that he accepted it? So David is now angry with Mephibosheth, and he gives to Tziva, the servant, all of the lands of Mephibosheth. And he thanks him. So here is the source, because this is all Rav Amad, that Rav held that David accepted Lashon Hara. So he committed another Aved. But Ushmuel Amar Lo Kibel David Lashon Hara. Shmuel says, no, this part of the story is wrong. David never accepted Lashon Hara from Tziva. Because Dvorman Ikorim Chazabeh, he made that assumption that Mephibosheth was not loyal to him, not based on the Lashon Hara of Tziva, but based on his own viewing of the evidence. It says finally when Mephibosheth came to greet David, he was not shaven, he didn't take a haircut, he didn't launder his clothing. And David challenges him, how come you didn't come with me? My servant Siva tricked you. I had to go by donkey because I'm lame. And he tricked me. And and you, David, are like a malach. And you should do whatever you want. Means so he said, I already told you initially I was going to split the land between you and Siva. You can give the whole thing. Because I'm happy that you came home. Now these words, the way Shmuel learns, David HaMelech interpreted that he was not in alliance with him. I was worried that you would come back in peace, and you're taking my land away? I don't have complaints against you. El Amisha v'yacha b'shalom. I have complaints against Hashem, the one who brought you back to Shalom. Hayu d'chsiv uven yonason meriv Baal. Later on in Divrei Hayomim, when it describes Mepiboshes, it calls him a meriv Baal, somebody who fights with his master. Why was he called over there Meriv Baal? He complained against Hashem. You're somebody who fights, the son of somebody who fights. Who's somebody who fought? That's Shaul HaMelech. Because it says, Shaul came to fight Amalek and he fought in the river. The Iske Nachal refers to the Egla Rufa, that if a corpse is found in between two cities, you measure the closest city, and that city has to bring an Egla Rufa, decapitated Egel, as an atonement because they must have not provided Lavoya. They must have not provided escort, and that's why this guy got killed. Now, on the other hand, only that guy, when there's punishment there, it's not like everybody's killed and the children's killed. And Shaul was sort of complaining, why by Amalek do we have to kill everybody out? That's the concept of Iske Nacha. If here, on one person's killed, you do an Egla Rufa. Here, we're told to kill out all these Amalek. So he also sort of had tarumas against the Kodesh Baruch. At the time, listen to this. Listen to this Chazal. It's so powerful. Initially, right, this was Mephibosheth's land. And because of this, that he believed the Lashon Hara of Tziva, he took half of it away from Mephibosheth. Because of that, Yatza Baskol v'Amarlo, Rechavam v'Yeravam Yechalku Samlucha. That after Shlomo HaMelech dies, and he leaves his son Rechavam, in Rechavam's lifetime, Yeravam ben Nevat makes a civil war and takes the 10 Shvatim away, and that leads to Golus Yisrael. So because of this episode, it's amazing. This leads to the division of Klal Yisrael and the final Golus. Yeah. Amrav Shmuel ben Achmeni, Amrav Yonason. Here comes the trifecta. Whoever says Shlomo Melech sin, he's making a mistake. So Shlomo Melech's heart was not with Hashem like his father. Kilvav David Aviv would law. Yeah, fine. His heart was not like David, but he didn't sin either. What about the pasuk that says Vayila Eit Zikna Shlomo Noshav Hitu Es Levavo Lalechas Achmelukim Acherim? The pasuk in Malachim says that when Shlomo got old, his wives turned him to Avodah Zarah. So the Gemara says Ahik Rav Nosson, because we learn like Rav Nosson Rami. See Vayila Eit Zikna Shlomo Noshav Hitu Es Levavo. It says when Shlomo was old, his wives turned his heart. How can we say that he committed avodah zarah? If the Torah, if the psukim are made on him that he wasn't chayta? So this I have to learn. Meaning, his wives tried to get him to worship avodah zarah, but he didn't do it. Fragt die Gemara v'haksiv az yivne Shlomo bama lichmosh shikutz Moav. Thus did Shlomo build in a language of the future, Yivne. But there it means that Shlomo built a bama, an altar to the Avodah Zarah of Moab. And for the Gemara, Shabikesh livnos v'lo bama. He wanted to build, but he ended up not building. Elameata Oz Yivna Yoshua Mizbech Lashem. We're going to learn in the Navi Shir a few prakim that eventually, in honor of the fact that they crossed the Jordan, Yoshua is commanded to build a Mizbeach. And there also it uses the language as Oz Yivne. But it means that he built it. So you're going to tell me over there, Shabikesh Livnos V'lo Bana, because it says Oz Yivne? Can't be. Over there we know he built it. Ela de Bana Chanami de Bana. So if it says Az Yivne Shlomo, must be he built it. Ela Keditani Rabbi Yosi. This Abomis Hashem Yerushalayim, Asher Mimin Lahar Mishcha Sherbona Shlomo Melech Yisrael Ashtar Shikut Tzidonim. So there's a pasuk in Malachim that says this is about Yoshio HaMelech, who becomes about Tshuva. He's the one that he became king at the age of 8, and at the age 18, 10 years later, Chilkiah the Kohen Gadol found a Sefer Torah, and we read that Haftorah on the second day of Pesach, because it says they didn't have a Pesach like that since the time they went out of Mitzrayim. Now, part of Yoshio's mission was to get rid of all the Avodah Zarahs. So it says, these altars that Shlomo Melech built, he destroyed. I don't understand. Efshar Asa. Asa was a righteous king of David, a righteous Malchus based David. And he didn't, V'lo Bi'aram, and Yehoshaphat, who was also a righteous king, was around V'lo Bi'aram, Atshaba Yoshio V'yaram. So the board doesn't understand. Why were these Bomos allowed to remain until Yoshio HaMelech, which is only a few years before the final Churban? V'lo kol avodah zarah sheberetz Yisrael, Asa v'Yoshaphat bi'aru. We have psukim that says Asa and Yoshaphat destroyed all the avodah zarah throughout the country. Elamekish rishonim lachroni. So we have a hekesh. Ma'achronim, meaning Yoshua Melech. Lo asu. So he didn't really carry out the destruction of these avodah zarahs. But v'tola b'hem lishvach. But because we're praising him, they praised him regarding this as well, as if they've been destroyed already. But they gave credit to him. Shlomo Melech as well. When it says that he built Bamos, it's just hung on his neck, but he really didn't do it. Just like Yoshio didn't burn it, but he was given credit. Here's just the opposite. He also didn't do it, but he was given the Gnai for it. So how can you tell me, though, says the Gemara, that he didn't do wrong? Shlomo hara b'nei Hashem. We tell me lo chata. Here comes another powerful voice. Ela b'nei shaylo limachos b'nosha v'lo micha. Malakasu ki lo chata. We were asking, what's this concept about we've been dealing with this for the last 5-6 blot. People who have the ability to protest and don't protest. So when it says, Vayashlo Rabbi Hashem says this Gemara, it's said that about him because he had the ability to protest about what his wives were doing. He didn't do it. But he should have protested what his wives were doing. He didn't protest. So it's for the rest of Shlomo, for the rest of eternity, Tanakh records Shlomo HaMelech as Vayash Shlomo HaRabbi Hashem. In fact, Shlomo HaMelech, that tzaddik, would prefer to be a shamis for Avodah Zarah. Means if he could have it back, he would go and hire himself out as a servant to an avodah zarah. So look, so much strong is this toichacha against somebody who has the ability to protest and doesn't protest. Evil. When he married the Basparo, she brought in 1,000 musical instruments. We played this music for such and such a avodah zarah. We played this music for this other avodah zarah. And he should have protested all of this. And he didn't say a word. When the day when Shlomo Melech married Basparo, Malach Gavriel planted a reed in the Mediterranean Sea. The olive sirton and some sand rose around it. The olive nivne krach gadol sharomi, and this is how the Roman Empire began. What's being told here to us, gentlemen? The seeds of Golus Romi, just like we said before, that in the time of David HaMelech was already laid the seeds of Churban Bayis Rishon because of the Lashon Hara. Because of this action of Shlomo, already laid the ground for Bayis Sheni's destruction, which is going to be 1,000 years later. When Yerovam ben Nevat, right, became Melech of the 10 Shvatim, he put up golden calves, and Nivnet Srif Echad, and a cabin was built also in Greece, Italia. And the Meforshim explain eventually Rome took over Greece. You know, in Pompeii, already Julius Caesar was fighting the Greeks, and later the Romans completely conquered Greece. And since Greece, right now, sit here, Susie, told me that eventually the Palestine, which we were under Greek Seleucid rule, came under Roman rule when the Romans finally conquered the Greeks. Where it says Yoshua Melech sinned is a mistake. He did Yosher. Nobody was about Shuva like him. Meaning, if he's about Shuva, he must have sinned. So the Gemara explains what he did wrong. He served as a judge because he was appointed king at the age of 8. So from 8 to 18, he did rulings, and then they found a new Sefer Torah. They found Sefer Dvarim, and he went back and he wanted to give money back to all the litigants because there's a Chazal. Chazal learned that you cannot serve as a judge under a certain age. Certainly, as an 8-year-old, you could not. But if you knew, even if they knew, and the din is, if you know, you could sit on a bench. Chazal makes a gzeira and say no. When he saw the Sefer Dvarim, he thought he might mistake. So not l'mizeh not l'zeh. He took money from this and gave money to that. He gave from his own money. He didn't even rely on one person giving back money because he was concerned he's taking money that doesn't belong to them away from them. So he paid everybody back out of his own money. So he was not a choteh. Hello. Oh, Tzvika continues to do, quite, daily progress. Pliga de Rav. Now this is a machloka. So Shmuel holds he didn't sin, but Rav holds that he did sin. He was about tshuva, which implies that at one point he was a sinner. Yeah, now sit down, Susie. And there was about tshuva in our generation. Who's that? Abba Avud Rav Yirmiyah Barav. Va'ari lo acha achuda abba abu Rav Yirmiyah Barba. Gomer Mar, Rababa va'acha acheav. Rababa va'acha were brothers. Rav Yosef va'odechad b'darenu umanu ukvin bar Nechemya reish galusa. Ukva bar Nechemya was the reish galusa, is a big Baal Tshuva. V'hainu Nosson de Tzutzisa. Another name for him was Nosson de Tzutzisa. What's the Nosson de Tzutzisa? Because sparks of fire would come out of the Malach when they accepted his tshuva. Amar Rav Yosef Avi Yasivna b'Pirka. I was darshaning on the Yontif, Vahava Kamanam name, and I saw in my dream that the Chazal Bechelma the Kopashik Yadav Kiblei, that the Malach put out his hand to receive Nosson Tzutzisa to show that he was Choyzer B'tshuva and it's accepted in Shemayim. Yeshikach, gentlemen, and Mr.